So I think a big welcome back to Julie Kent. Welcome home.
Thank you.
So your people in the audience here tonight. I see that. And Dana, welcome. Julie, tell us first of all about your vision for Washington Ballet and how all of this new work plays into it.
Right. Well, in a nutshell, my vision is to present my art form in the nation's capital at the highest level. And it is a reflection of the incredible career and opportunities and experiences that I had with American Ballet Theater, and a huge part of not only stewarding the Washington Ballet as an organization, but also stewarding our art form into the 21st century is creating opportunity for new works. And so that's just a really exciting part of our season is this evening of 3 world premieres. This is our second year presenting 3 works on the same program of new works, and I'm just absolutely delighted with the choreographers that we have with us this year. So we have Dana Genshaft here, so I'm just absolutely delighted for you all to get to know her better.
And how did you find out about Dana's work?
Right.
Because Dana has been a dancer in San Francisco Ballet and does a lot of modern things. She teaches, but she wasn't in the New York City orbit, per se.
Right. I mean, the ballet world is small, so obviously once we did get to know each other, we have so many friends and overlapping experiences. But it's really thanks to ABT also. I had been visiting probably this time last year when we were here for Works in Process, and she had created a piece for the studio company at ABT, and I had watched it in rehearsal. And one of the things that I really pay attention to is how the glove fits or how the shoe fits. You know, the material that especially is made for young dancers is really important, that it challenges them in the right way. Mm-hmm. And I was so impressed at how those young dancers, the piece fit them so beautifully. It was very architectural, but also very musical, and then I didn't have the opportunity to see it in performance, but after the performance, I received an email from Kevin McKenzie saying, you know, this is a talent that really deserves an opportunity, and so if you have that opportunity, I wholeheartedly support her. And so, you know, that's enough of a recommendation.
Nice.
Yes. So,
I mean,
and
honestly,
it's a reflection
Dana,
of Kevin also, of how generous he is. So. Yeah, so that's how it happened, and then we just connected in San Francisco, and the rest is history. And she's just been completely embraced by our company and our dancers. They love working with her, and we're really, really just excited to see how the cake rises.
Well, it sounds like an amazing matchup. And Dana, if you would talk a little bit about how your life as a dancer informs your work as a choreographer, because you had this very, very classical training. Paris Opera Ballet, Kirov, some SAB, but very classical. And then in San Francisco, you ended up doing super diverse modern work. You're super articulated. I mean, you've done everything.
First of all, thank you so much, Julie. I'm just so grateful for this opportunity. Yeah. But yeah, it was kind of a surprise because, as you said, I was very, very classical, very placed. I mean, textbook. And the physique was, you know. Could you talk more into your mic? Oh, thank you. Sorry about that. Yeah, so I'm very well classically trained and all of that. And it took a couple of years to discover that really my strength was in kind of the contemporary works. And it was very surprising because it came out of nowhere. And ever since that moment, I just sort of took off in this. I had my own little niche in the company where I was exploring, basically getting thrown all of these like experimental works that no one else really wanted to like touch, you know? Like,
nothing like being the guinea pig in modern pieces.
But for me it was like, right here, give me more. Loved it. And I learned a lot from the creative process and actually being able to work with contemporary choreographers, not ever really thinking that I wanted to be a choreographer. I didn't cognitively connect those dots until later, but I learned a lot. You know, I was always an observer, and when given the opportunity to have freedom with movement, I was able to create something, essentially. So interpreting is something I was kind of good at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a wonderful moment right now for female choreographers, I feel like. You know, there's more and more opportunity, and I'm just wondering, have you been able to reach out and be mentored at all by some of the other working women in the field?
That's a really great question. Yes, and actually right before the studio company commission, I reached out to Annabelle Lopez Ochoa on Facebook. And I was like, hi, you don't know me, I know you, but I really need some help, and mostly like...
Like, I'm not creepy, I am
yeah,
really a
I
normal
swear I'm
person.
not a stalker. I just want to know, how do you do this? How do you prepare? Because I found that the preparation is the thing that is really important. And she was actually super generous, and she's like, you know what, let's do a FaceTime, like, we'll talk about this, and then I'll come to your rehearsal in New York. And I was like, whoa, 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 that's a lot. I don't know if I'm ready for all that. But she ended up being super generous, and like, we went out to dinner, and we both like champagne, and
It worked.
you know, the next year she was doing a ballet for San Francisco Ballet, so I was able to like, you know, be her person in San Francisco, and actually this last time in Washington when I was creating the piece, she happened to be in Washington, so she's like my fairy godmother kind of.
Nice
But
to
don't tell
have.
her that. So she's, you know, she's been someone who's been super supportive.
That's amazing.
I've
to
been
have
really
that.
lucky.
So tell me about
Yeah.
when you walked in to Washington Ballet. You get this incredible opportunity,
Yeah.
and you see these dancers. What do you say to yourself?
I mean, I was really blown away because I was kind of stressing myself out, like, you know, am I classical enough? Am I contemporary enough? Like, where do I fall? You know, where do I go with this? How far can I go in each direction? And still developing that within myself as a choreographer. So I really wanted to get a sense of who the dancers are so I could create something for them.
Well, you also talked about versatility, and I know that's something you have. You have a real versatile group of dancers at Washington Ballet.
I mean, Julie had mentioned it, but I didn't realize that it would be that dynamic of a group.
Yep.
And I was, I mean, so inspired by the range of movement and also the personalities within the group and just variations, just humans that are just an amazing group of people. So it's a big inspiration for me.
And the music that you've chosen.
Yeah.
It's called Carnivorous Furniture. And I listened to it all day yesterday, and I can't get it out of my head. It is amazing. It is so layered. And it's just extraordinary. Talk to us a little bit about how you pick the music and how the music informs your choreography in this, because they really work together.
The piece was in my playlist for a while, and I wasn't planning on using it until after I visited Washington and realized like I needed to challenge the dancers more than what I previously imagined, and I needed to challenge myself more. So I chose the music because it had a symphonic, beautiful, lush, you know, organization to it, but also with this incredible electronica aspect. So these two worlds that are kind of fusing together in this incredible journey. And just the way that he does it is what's fascinating, because he uses the electronica as another part of the orchestra. So it's not just like layered on top. Yeah. It's really, it's just genius. It's a genius piece. Yeah.
It's incredible music. It's Mason Bates. And it's you could see images when you hear the music, and I guess that's how one might know it's danceable from a layperson's point of view, but it's just so textured, and we're going to get to hear some of it while you're coaching today as well.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about the costuming for this? Because I know you like color.
Yeah.
Are you going to have color? you going to have
Not
nudes,
as
neutral?
much, yeah, more
Okay.
like earth tones. I think about just like walking on a beach and seeing rocks, and they all sort of work together, but they're all different. That's kind of the concept of the group. These individuals that fit together, but are each unique in their own way. And so the costuming is going to be with Reed and Harriet Designs.
And I think they're
who
with us
are-
tonight.
Are they here? They might
Can
be.
we see you yonder?
Or they
Anyway,
may be tomorrow.
so beloved in the
Yeah.
ballet world.
They're amazing people and artists, and I'm so fortunate.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm really excited to watch you work with your dancers. Can you
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about what you're going to be coaching for us and set it up?
Sure. So one thing to just try to imagine is that the whole ballet happens in 18 minutes and one movement. And the 10 dancers, they barely leave the stage. So you mentioned spaces and
Yeah.
worlds, and so the music has these shifting spaces, interior spaces, exterior spaces, kind of waves, like a space that reminds you of like an ocean. It's just an amazing journey. What you will see here is solos that are sort of textured overlaying the group structures. So there's actually a lot going on the stage, but we are picking out these individuals to highlight. The first solo is Andile Ndlovu. Sorry, Andile, I know I didn't say that right. But he's my observer character. So he's part of this group, but he's always sort of removed from it in a way. And Katherine Barkman's character is my outlier. So she comes in like a third of a way into the piece and kind of disrupts the piece a little bit. And they have a developing sort of relationship that flowers. Well, the music flowers kind of gets more lyrical too. So that's what we're going to see today.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Can we bring our first dancer out?
Yeah. So this is Andile, and yeah. So do I get to get up now? Can you hear me? Wow, magic. Okay. So this is, you have to imagine there's a line of people that are rotating around like a clock, and they're basically chasing him, like he's being chased by the hands of time. So that's what this solo is about. Should we just go for it? Yeah, let's just go for it. Okay, why not? Let's go. I'll count you in, yeah. Okay, Patrick, we're all set. And go. Yes. Okay, good. Good. Awesome. All right, good. Thank you. Okay, good. Take it into the back a little bit, like everything. Take it a little bit into the spine. Yes. And maybe the first one's like more of like you get pushed out of the line, like an impulse with the breath. Yeah. Someone punches you in the stomach. So, ready and go. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And that little slide out is nice, like. Yeah. And. Yeah. Hold on to it. Yeah. Good. So take your time. Take your time a little bit more. So you're the observer. I don't think I ever talked to you about this, actually, so. Not in detail. Okay, so. So you can have, I think the more that you have these stretches, right, which you do so brilliantly, and then have a moment of cognitive, like where we see your eyes and we see the experience of what you're doing, then you can speed up and do your Andile thing and catch up. So not everything, you know what I mean? So stretch this one out, stretch it out. It's like you're falling, 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 falling. And press into that foot, press, 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 press. That's it. And stay. I used to be a dancer too. That was awesome, good. That was nice. Maybe make this one more like you lost your contact lens or something. Perfect. Great. Right, nice. I really love, and I really love what you did with that roll. So keep that thing that you did. That was amazing. Coming off the floor, same. I love all of that. How you kind of reverse feel out of that floor sequence. Now, slice the space there. Like use your hips and a little bit higher. If you can go like straight across 90. Yeah. Same momentum, but just a little bit higher up, like cut space right across. And think corner. Think that one. Yeah. Reach, reach, reach. That's it. And hopefully you're a little bit more here. A little bit more there, and then, good, sorry, I was in your way. Sorry, you're a little more there. And then go into this one. See if you can make this less of a shuffle and more of like a hot frying pan. Yeah, pick up the, yes, there you go. And maybe get the first, a little more height on the very first one. Or maybe take a bigger step. Maybe that's what it is. So that you can really, yeah, nice. Good. And then what are we doing after that? This is all nice. Yes. Oh, this is that moment of experiencing this one. Yeah, gorgeous. And maybe we could take the eyes like across for extra drama. Yeah. Nice. Thank you. Good. Should I move on or make him go again? Because timing-wise, should we?
We can do it again.
We can do it. Okay, one more time. One more time. Do you want to try it again? So, yeah. No? Yes? Easy. Just for those dynamic things, yeah? Just to feel that. You don't have to punch it. Here we go. One more time, Patrick. Thank you. Good. And up. Stay. And good. Take your time. And go. Da, pa, pa, ba, da. Stay. Da, da, da. One more. And slow. Go. Slice. Da. And ha ha. Da. Good. And scan. Nice. Good. Carve. Take your time. Good. Okay. Good. And go. Bump. Good. Nice. Thank you, love. Thank you. Thank you. I think that's it. Yeah? Okay, good. Thank you. All right, so then, yeah, so come back for the duet. Yeah, don't go too far. Okay. All right, here we go. So now we do Katherine's solo.
Let's see Katherine.
Okay.
You were telling me something earlier today
Yes.
about how you wanted the quality of your movement to feel, and it was almost an exercise.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Because I could
So you
see
could try
what you were
this.
talking about.
This was a Jackie Barrett thing. It was so genius. Jackie Barrett this amazing woman. So she said, okay, pull on your pants or pull on something, right? And then you let go. And that feeling of what happens when you let go. It's like that, it's a natural, raw kind of movement, right? You're not making it happen. You can't duplicate that quality. You can only have it when something else, there's some kind of a force. So I tried, that's the goal with ballet, is to try to get them to have these natural sort of movement qualities. So this solo is technical. She's on point and she has pirouettes, she has turns, and trying to get some of that in there is a goal. And actually I re-choreographed it like an hour ago. Yeah. Julie was there. It was in the dressing room.
Did Julie give you any directives on any of this, on what
No,
she
she
wanted?
just kept going with her thing.
Yep.
So then, okay, so let's try this. So this one's about like trying to play a little bit with the rhythms. Katherine, there she is, Katherine Barkman. Okay, so let's start back, and we're gonna kind of mark through it, because this is new for you, and then we'll do it. Okay, so you turn around. Good, so even that first thing, see if you can toss yourself into it a bit. So take a, push from your back leg more and see if you, it's almost like there's a moment, where we get that, putting on the brakes. Yes, and sorry, keep getting hit. Yeah, good. Good. So that one, you can fall off the leg a little bit. Use your hips. That's right. And see if you can find that opposition with the upper body, like reach the arm away from the toes. Well, yeah, that's it. Good. Don't stop the movement, yeah? So from there, figure out how you're going to get your body, organize it so it's connected. Hand. Good. Lift, see if you can lift the knee just a little bit there. Bum, 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 yeah. Good. Feel like you want to resist turning in a way, so that you want to float a bit and stay. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Good. Very good. Then we have that little section. Yes. Pirouette. Don't think about the turn here, yeah? Think about a breath. Yeah. A little more dynamic, a little more spot. Good. I feel like you could do a double. Don't worry about the front. I think have the sense of turning and see where it goes. Yeah, that's it. That's it. And I much rather see you fall out of it and pick up than see you perfectly land and go to the next spot. I kind of want to see that freedom of what happens. Yeah? Good. Down to top. Let's keep going. Good. Can you feel a little bit like wind underneath your arms? Like make, that's it. That's right. Good. Eyes up. Eyes up. Yeah, that's right. Can you get to the feeling of suspend just a little bit? So don't think jump. Think, some people, they create the illusion of a jump just by finding that picture. It's kind of what you want. That's it. Good. And then down and down, and we talked about that. Cool. Let's try it. All right, good. All right. Patrick, we'll go to Katherine's solo now. Three, 4, 5, 6, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Go. Good travel. And wind. Good. Good. Beautiful, Catherine. Let's do it. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Don't do it on point. And just for fun. Okay? Okay. We're going to do it together one more time. Okay. I'm just going to move around a little bit. Okay, one more time. So start a little further back. Also, I feel like you should be not facing the audience. You should be, yeah, because, I mean, you're milling around a little bit. Yeah, so it's a little bit of a surprise, yeah, when you get there. Breath, keep growing. And then breath. And da-dee, ba, da-dee, ba, go, da, ba, da, travel, one, go, one, be late, bum, cheetah, move, down and down and down, yeah, cool. Okay. Good. All right, thank you. All right. She's amazing. Okay. Now what? Oh yes, now we go to Andile. So there's this, like flowering relationship thing that happens with the group, and things get a bit carried away, and Catherine's character has gotten absorbed into this momentum, and it's all really wonderful. And then there's a moment, and it's like a really dramatic moment where everyone's connected, and he loses his grip with the group, and it takes him into this solo, which I imagine like you're drowning a bit. And then that takes us into a duet, where she essentially saves him or comes back and kind of offers him a hand, and it's not too romantic, but it's intimate in a way and very close. So this is kind of a scary moment for Andile's character. Okay, here we go. So this is the second solo. Go. Go, 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 go. And let's slow it down. Good. Good. Thank you. Good. Beautiful. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Good. Good. Great solo. Great solo. Great duet. Good. Working backwards then. That lift that you guys do. It'd be nice if there was a sense of the slight spiral in the body. So it's not just that way. But I feel like it's the right leg. You know, careful with that shift. But it'd be nice if there was. I mean, ideally it can turn a little bit and maybe even let go. And we can practice this in the studio too. We don't have to do it now, but we can try it. Yeah. Yeah, just try it. See what happens. And that's it. I think also, Andile, that was it. I think also because you're stopping, the movement sort of dies. Yeah, I think keep that sort of shape moving. But that was really good. It's on the right track. When you go for that little handstand over her back, it would be nice if she was actually supporting you a little bit. Right now it's like a fake thing. Yeah. Really use her a tiny bit and she's gonna help you. Roll. Aim for her a little bit lower on her back. You're a bit high. You know what I mean? You're like close to her neck. Yes, tiny bit. More on her like middle back maybe. Puff out your back slightly, Katherine. There you go. And now hold on. Feel. Yeah. Yeah. Don't slide out of there too soon. Take a little risk. And almost. Maybe what I said is not actually a good thing. Maybe you should be more this way so that she can slide out. Yeah, but I like that contact that you have. Yeah, even if it's for a moment. I think you need to, I don't know, try again. Let's try again. That's it. Good. It would be nice if you could also slide through the toes, just like when you get out there, extend that shape before you spiral. Yes, that's gorgeous. Good. Now this thing. I like how you get close. I love this moment. Yeah, it's very real. So when you get to him, and then you get to him again, is it possible to make this shape and then sit down as right now? You know what I mean? I know it's not very cozy, but yeah, and then extend through that. Yes. I think it could be quite, you know, there, yes, and let him help you. Yeah, so that you feel his hand on your back and then that. Good, very nice. I think I'm stuck in my own mic. What else? Going back. Beautiful, all this stuff looks really great. The very first hand, can you not bump up on your butt, but kind of keep your tush on the floor? You know what I mean? Good, resist. That's it. Yes. And see, in that moment where you try to make it easy for her, I think you can scoot your pelvis under and that'll help you get a little bit closer to her, but there's a sense of, you know, it's like you see each other, but it's a little scary. So there's a slight tail under resistance. But it's nice because she can actually carry your weight just a little bit there. Try that one more time. And stay back. Yes. Resist. And good. Katherine, too, there. I think don't be afraid to bring your eyes up and let us see your experience. I think this is really, I don't know.
Fantastic.
This is good. Yeah, I'm really happy with it.
It's
Good.
great. Thanks, you guys. That was amazing.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Mwah. Mwah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, that was gorgeous. And I think one of the things that I noticed, not only how beautiful the work was, but how loving and kind you are with the dancers making the ballet. And I'm sure that's really important to you as the artistic director.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. I mean, you get so much out of people when you give like that. The metaphors, everything. You have such a beautiful way of working with the dancers.
I just remember like some of the most successful experiences for myself where I was able to come out as a dancer where people were like, yes, 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 go, 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 more, 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 more. And it just makes you feel like you can, you have wings.
Yeah, you could see that.
Yeah.
We'd like to invite out now another choreographer who I think is in the audience with us tonight. And you know him very well, Ethan Stiefel. There you are.
Hey there.
Welcome. And Julie, tell us a little bit about, you guys go way back.
We do.
Tell us how this came about, because this is your second ballet
Yes.
together.
So obviously Ethan and I were longtime colleagues at American Ballet Theater, and we danced a lot together. And when Ethan left his career as a performer, and while he was also artistic director in New Zealand, and also as the dean at University of North Carolina School of the Arts, and he also started choreographing. And I followed it, and again had the opportunity when he was creating some works for the studio company at ABT to see more than one. So I got to see quite a range of what he created, and we were just talking about the Knight's Dream or Knight's Tale.
Oh, right.
Right, because Victoria.
Nightlife.
Nightlife.
With a K.
Yes. One of our dancers was on this stage with it many years ago. And yeah, so we had just, there was an exchange with the Royal Ballet School and the ABT's JKO school, and Ethan had created a piece that was partially made on the JKO dancers, and then he completed it with the Royal Ballet School students. And I thought it was so beautiful, and again, like the choreography fit the dancers so well. It was so thoughtful, it was so musical, and it just, that piece in particular, I really saw very clearly his work with Robbins. And I mean, Ethan's had such a incredible career as far as working closely with Robbins and dancing the whole Balanchine repertoire from his years at New York City Ballet, then coming to the ABT and dancing all the classics and new choreography. And so I just think that he has such a interesting amalgam of artistic knowledge that, again, it's a voice that I'd like to hear and see how things he has to say. And so we did. Our very first commissioned work was from Ethan at the Washington Ballet. It was the centennial birthday of President John F. Kennedy. And so we decided to do a tribute to him at the Kennedy Center. And Ethan well, he can probably tell the story better. You want to take it from there?
It's a good story.
About the ballet, or?
Well, you can do a brief history on that one, and then we can move forward to now.
Yeah, that ballet was quite specific in the sense of the theme of it being based around something.
I was thinking Camelot, you know, like the usual, and then he went on a long bike ride.
Yeah, and so I ended up making a ballet about essentially space, or the astronaut's experience in preparation landing on a planet they'd never been on before. And it was an amazing opportunity that I was presented with by Julie, and had a new score. We used, I think, some fantastic imagery in terms of projections and multimedia. And yeah, just it's a really special ballet to me. It was a special experience, and the fact that then I was in turn invited to come back and make another dance, I took that as a positive. So it's good to be back with the Washington Ballet again.
Well, that actually, when you're talking about, you went on a 9,000-mile bike ride, and I mean, that's far. That's a long way. But is that where you found your inspiration? I mean, how do you, in terms of process, make your ballets? Do you have to go on a bike ride every time?
No, that's that doesn't happen. That just seemed to be kind of one of those things where the timing of it coincided with needing to just kind of have some time to myself, do some reading, some camping, be inside my own head, inside a helmet, and just kind of settled on space, because it was such a profound moment in so many ways, and also was one that I felt in terms of creating a vocabulary that was different and unique, would lend itself to that rather than perhaps the Bay of Pigs invasion. Or something like that.
That would have been a memorable ballet, though. But in terms of process, how do you generally work? When you pick, you've got your music, you look at your dancers, what is sort of the way that you put things together in your head?
I think generally the first thing is just to kind of, wrap my head around who I'm going to be working with, because that's important, not just to kind of impose or interject my ideas, but how that's going to be a dialogue and a conversation, in essence, that we collaborate. In general, outside of the Frontier piece, which was the space ballet and had a new score, essentially I look for music and sit with it for a while. That was different because I was actually conceptualizing and almost creating as the score was being composed. So that was a unique yet exhilarating challenge for me. And in this specific endeavor, Julie, I think, which is fantastic, is really trying to have live music in as many performances as possible, since she has become the artistic director at the Washington Ballet. And she basically said, I don't want to, give me a theme or something like that, as we had the last time. You can really kind of, within reason, do anything that you'd like to do, but to keep in mind, again, not kind of that it had to be that way, but utilizing live music anywhere from a solo musician up to, I think, a quintet or a sextet, something like that. And just for me personally, chamber music, in terms of my learning about classical music, which is so immense and broad. I love all classical music, but back when I was really getting into it, among other forms of music, that's kind of where I started. So I was really excited about having the chance to make a piece to, let's call it chamber music, so to speak. So that gave me some guidelines in a very practical way in terms of going out and finding music. So outside of just kind of getting an understanding of where I'm going to be working, then the music comes soon thereafter.
And Dana, how does that mesh or contrast with the way you work on a ballet?
I think
What's
there's
your process?
a lot of similarities, just
Yep.
having time with the score and thinking about what it means, and seeing the dancers, all of those things. But I go with my, I try to go with my gut about feeling the moment and what's right, and how I want to challenge myself. Like, I knew I wanted to have something rhythmical, and so that's what I chose music that had more of this constant vibe or beat, or
Moves forward.
it moves
Yeah.
forward. Yeah, I really wanted to work with something like that, and I knew that it had to be an abstract piece. We don't have sets or elaborate costumes, so that was kind of a raw dance approach. So that kind of shaped what I was going to do, and I knew that I couldn't have a full orchestra, so obviously electronic music seemed to be a good idea. So yeah, it's just kind of all these different pieces that come together. Yeah.
Ethan, we're going to see you coach a little bit of your work right now. Can you set up what we're going to be seeing and talk to us a little bit? But we're going to get into deeper in the music, but just set up what we're going to be seeing and the feeling of this piece.
Well, I'll just be brief about going back to the music again. So I settled on string quartets by the Danish String Quartet, and essentially what they did, there's 2 different albums that they came out with, I think 2014 and then a year or 2 later, called Woodworks and Last Leaf, and those are contemporary string quartets based on traditional Nordic folk songs. So some of those songs might date back to, I think one of them, the late 1500s, and so on, throughout Scandinavia, but they made, really kind of fresh and engaging string quartets with that. And so that gave me then the idea just really to make, to select the various pieces, but then once I did that, to come up with an abstract kind of idea, in essence, a sense of this village or community which is remote, frozen in ice, deep in the woods somewhere in Scandinavia, and that they have their own sense of self and community and traditions, and they support each other, and they embrace each other and embrace the differences. But within that, then, throughout the various dances, there'll be group dances and so on. Tonight you'll see a duet and a trio that you can see the different personalities that make up a village or a community, and kind of embracing that spirit of originality amongst people, even though they can work together to support and achieve a similar goal. So the first
Beautiful.
piece.
Let's see the duet.
Yep. So the first piece is a duet. I think this is my mic working.
You're good.
Great. So we have Brittany Stone here, and Rolando Sarabia. So why don't we actually start with just going through, not too slowly due to time constraints, but a little bit kind of step by step from the beginning, and a couple things that I may have noticed earlier on in the process that we can look at and work on. So if you started off stage, as you do, thanks. Yeah. I'll give you just 4, 5, 6, and 1, and 2, and beep, ba, deep, da, bum, 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 good, beam, bum, 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 beam, bum, 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 beam, bum. Cool. Great. Really good. Like that, again, initiation kind of from back or shoulder. I would say if we could just look a little bit at the dynamic and the accent is great in terms of the lower body, but just to kind of cushion it with that speed, so almost 2 legs moving at once, even though there's like a 1-2. Yeah, exactly. Just find a little bit of, cushion and support. This was great, just less, even less, I think. We'll see. We'll see when we get there, but just, kind of, as we go over that. Good. If we carry on with that then, I think we don't have to do it, but just make sure that you keep reaching out and maybe hold on a little bit longer to the kind of flexed arabesque action, and so it bends as you roll through the hip and do that. Cool. Yeah. Da, da, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Good. When we get to the music, that was right, just for kind of the specificity of the accent. So 1, because I'm thinking maybe I wasn't clear, which happens during the process. 1, 2 for the little quirky thing, yeah. And then all of us, I'm going to face this way just for dramatic effect for the audience. But if we can keep the toes and everything together so we can accentuate the openness while turned in. Yeah, That would be great. When we go to first, it takes on a little bit different flavor for that. Good. Essentially then, same thing that you're doing. Those ideas with the arms and that kind of cushioned movement with the legs as you go through that. So we're good on this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 and 2 and 3 and yeah, good. Wonderful. Great. Good. Just with that, knowing that we're not quite in the usual space, if you can just stay upstage of him as you go upstage and do the quicker ones as you extend, still trying to get fully extended as you go through that, but that you're not directly behind him. That would be great. Yeah, so a little background is, now that you've seen a couple of the steps, it's a little bit of whatever you want to call it, modern or contemporary riff on some character dances that you might see in full-length classical ballet in terms of, Chardash or something like that. But a little bit different, a little bit quirky, I think. And as you'll see when they dance the whole thing in a few minutes, that I thought initially that I wanted to do a whole dance where they didn't see each other at all. And then after about a minute, Jill said, "You sure you want to do that?" Jillian Murphy, my wife. And I said, "As always, Jillian, you're correct in all things, in life, love, and profession." So I think it works up until a certain point, and then as you'll see, they'll connect together. But all of this stuff is that essentially they sense the other person there. They're into it, they like it, they just don't know who it is. And so part of it is to make sure that using artistic license and your imagination, I suppose, that they don't ever really see each other directly for nearly half of the dance as they do it. So we got through where I think we're pretty good until we bump into each other, back to back. Yeah, that's cool. Then we have the walks around. I think that's cool. I think that's good. You know what? Let's jump ahead then. Sweet. Let's jump ahead. Yeah, where you join in. Just so, do you mind if I play the role of Rolando? So when you put your arms out, and I would do this jam coming up underneath. Is that right? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So then we had 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and? Okay, cool. Then we're good. Thanks. Bum, bum, bum. Into the next bit. That's fine. Yeah, that's all going to be good. I think we just want to think about where we go spacing-wise after this. Yeah. Nice. Sweet. That's good. Yeah, I would come down. Yeah, cut that down around here, so then you have somewhere to go before the homage to Petit Pas. Yeah, you want to try one of those? Cool. Nice. Yeah. Sweet. Good. Just remember, especially on the first one, where we reconnect after our homage, let's say, to be disciplined in really taking the first one sharp. It was like on the second one you remembered, but had already gone kind of across that way. Groovy. Good. So then after this, we have a full 6, 5, 4, 5. Hold 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Full 6 then to come down. That's it. And then on 1, I think we're losing that a little bit. 6, 1, 2, 3. Then 4, 5, 6 to start moving in the kind of compass. nice. Lovely. Sweet. That's good. That's good. Cool. That's good. That's good. Any questions? You think? Anything I can help with? Yeah? Nice. So I'll give you an and, I think, so I can help cue the music up there. Cool. Just so you all know, and thank you, Works in Process, you've given us a very productive and constructive rehearsal, because I haven't actually seen this for, I think, 2 months or something like that. So it's nice to have an intermittent opportunity to touch base and work on it. You guys ready? Okay. And just a couple quick things to wrap it up. So much better. Just remember that same idea, even though there's a 1-2, this was so much better, that there's still a 1-2 as we got to that. Yeah. So now that the legs were working better, we almost went directly with the arms. So 1-2 on that. With the same step then, just be a little bit more cognizant of the clarity of not to overlap each other on the last part, so we keep the idea effect. Almost too good. almost too good with the jump, just more or less to reach and go through the, yeah. So you don't have to literally jump, just reach out, go up and over, and nice through the foot on that. Yeah, and then I think just on the day, find a little bit where you can be a little more tongue-in-cheek. I know I said somehow less, but still like kind of resonating the oddity of your relationship to begin with, I suppose. But that was great. That was excellent.
That was wonderful. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
Ethan, that was really beautiful. Really beautiful. How did you find that music? Where did it come from? I mean, how did it come into your world, I guess I should say?
It really only came into my world, as much as I just said that I love chamber music and classical music, through this piece. Originally, after we had initial discussions, I thought I wanted to do something more in kind of mountain music, old-time music. And so there's some great string quartets, especially by Mark O'Connor, who's a wonderful composer. And then through that, somehow, I came to this. And what's really fascinating in a lot of these pieces, whether you hear them in these two pieces or not, but just kind of that idea of, you know, Vikings or Scandinavians going to, you know, Ireland, and then the Irish settling in, you know, different places in the U.S., including the Appalachians. And so in a weird way, it came full circle, and in many numbers it kind of has that essence or that spirit almost of mountain music, which makes sense when you look at migration and immigration into the U.S.
Yeah, it's such an interesting piece. So truly, few people have had the breadth of career that you've had with City Ballet, with Zurich, with ABT. Who was your greatest influence? Choreographers you worked with, choreographers you've danced, on the work that you're doing today. Is there anyone in particular you'd say that's what I'm going for, or that informs what I'm doing?
You know, I think that all of them did in one way or another. I wouldn't say that, I don't think even in my artistic career, kind of emulating or being a mimic of something else or somebody else. Not saying I didn't learn a lot from watching other people or what they gave me and what they said to me, or with the people obviously that I was dancing with. That was all a part of creating, I suppose, contributing to who I was as an artist and performing, you know, my persona. So I wouldn't say that it's one thing or one person in particular, which hopefully is a good thing, that, you know, when it speaks to me, whether musically or physically, even emotionally or theatrically, dramatically, that somehow I might draw upon all these various things that are, you know, inside of me, and then have the ability to put it forward and see then how the artist that I'm working with then can take it on, and whether or not to keep kind of molding that or to move in a different direction depending upon how that kind of comes up in front of me. But certainly fortunate, you know, as I keep developing as a choreographer, that I started in a company with Balanchine and Robbins and worked firsthand with Robbins. You know, two geniuses that were very different, had different kind of flavors, but within that repertoire. And then, yeah, to move on into the American Ballet Theater repertoire and dance in Europe as well. I think that somehow, whether it's very literal or subliminal, that is informing my work, and I can't really put a brand or a label on it. But I guess the breadth of it really is kind of the label, so to speak.
Well, you said something so cute when you were up there, and you said, well, Jillian said I shouldn't do that, that they had to look at each other before that. And you're going to be a daddy very soon.
Yeah.
Has that changed the way you think about how you're working on ballets?
Not at all. You know, I
Just
don't,
you wait.
You know, maybe.
You're still sleeping, but
That's true.
I get it, okay.
It may get to that. No, it's just been a wonderful time. That I also made another piece for the American Ballet Theatre Studio Company to Beethoven's Egmont Overture, and it's just been really great that Jill and I. She decided not to perform kind of since December on, so she was able to travel to Washington and be in the studio with me on the piece and some other things I've been doing, teaching here and there. She was able to travel with me, so in that sense, perhaps. But yeah, you know, it's certainly dropped, or you know, I've come to the realization of that something major is going to happen, life-changing. I'm not resisting it, but I haven't incorporated it yet into my daily kind of regimen.
That's exciting. Julie, what is your hope as we sort of wrap things up for this new work in Washington, D.C.?
Well, I have great hopes and aspirations for the Washington Ballet to be considered as an institution that presents the breadth of what our art form offers at a very high level. And so while we just premiered our very first ever full-length production of The Sleeping Beauty, thank you.
This was a big deal.
Yeah, I thought it was hard to dance Sleeping Beauty, but I danced every show, every role in every show for a week, so I'm still recovering. From the audience, of course, but dancing every step. So that was a major undertaking, and then here we are, our very last program of the season, dedicated to new voices, and where are we taking this very beautiful art form forward into this century, and there's so many wonderful talents that have such authentic voices that reflect the very, very best of what the 20th century has had to offer us. So we're just really excited and hoping to inspire not just the Washington, D.C. area in our artistic endeavors, but really the nation and to dance lovers everywhere. So just so grateful for the support here in New York for what we're trying to accomplish there. And there's so many people here tonight that have made that Amtrak trip many times. I'm so grateful to you all. You know who you are.
Yeah. Well, Julie, thank you so much. Ethan, thank you. Dana, thank you. And to our beautiful dancers from the Washington Ballet. And I want to give you the specifics. The 3 world premieres performances, April 3rd through 7th at Sidney Harmon Hall. So if you can hop on that Amtrak, hop on the shuttle, go down and see these works, and when they're finished, beautiful. But these are, darn, this looks pretty good. I mean, you don't have very far to go. We want to leave you now with a trio from Ethan's ballet, and after their performance, please join us in the rotunda for a reception, and we thank all of you for being here tonight.
Hey. All right, we have Dan, Roberge, Sarah Steele, and you know this guy already, Andile Ndlovu. Actually, I think let's just clarify one section, which is, right, so we have it where it breaks down. We're in our, kind of 3 spokes. Sorry, you'll be upstage, Sarah, for that. We have our, I'm not going to sing that for everybody's benefit. Right, up and over. So I think I changed this at some point. This is happening like on the first 4 of the phrase that you used to know is your phrase. You know what I'm saying? Okay, groovy. Great. Nice. So up and over, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you got 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2. Is it Sarah? 1, 2? Sorry, cool. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so you can do that 5, 6, 7, 8. Sweet, just wanted to clarify that. Okay. Right. So this is what we need to clarify. 1 and 2 and 1. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 of those, right? 5 shifts. Then 3 of those into 5 again. Into kind of 2-ish. 2-ish. All right, sweet. Into that one. Okay. Groovy. Good. We got that, right? We got that. Yeah. So that reminds me, when you get to that next part, think about how you do it in the beginning, that even though now it's kind of like much more buoyant and, you know, we're letting the reins out a little bit, still keep some of those moments kind of really contained and tight with the clarity. So then when you bust out, so to speak, in some other things, that'll work. I think as well, in the beginning, yeah, keep it a little bit more contained, so it's almost like 3 sections. And we just kind of amp it up a little bit on our way through. Give it a go? Yeah? Or do we need to do any spacing things? Would you like to do that? What is that? Ah! Right. Yeah? So just swing it into a diagonal for that? Cool.
I'll just go flat again.
To bring it down?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you just kind of have to chill.
Would that be better for you in this space? Nice. Good. Yeah, I won't put too much background into this dance. Very different than the last dance, the duet that you saw. For lack of a better word, I think in the working process, I called this a Viking street dance. And that may or may not make sense. It doesn't have to, but yeah, let's go. Nice. Cool. You guys good?